Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to Powering Through the Pause. My name is Romy Neustadt, and I'm a 55-year-old woman in the tail end of perimenopause. And you're here because, like me, you're in the thick of what we shall call midlife magic. All right, I want to first kick this off by acknowledging the funny, not funny part of all this midlife magic. Okay, we are growing up, right? We're coming into our adulthood and in our 40s and 50s. We are becoming so powerful, really stepping into our power, starting not to give a damn what other people think of us. We really are starting to figure out this life thing and feeling like, wow, okay, I've got the hang of this. And there is going to be amazing things moving forward. And then, bam, we get hit with it, right? From all sides. And all of a sudden, our bodies feel like they're betraying us. We don't recognize our brains because they're not working like they used to. And our moods, forget about it. And sometimes we even think, oh my gosh, I'm going crazy, right? All right. That's why I'm so glad that now, unlike when my mom was going through all this, we are having more and more conversations about this. And we get to come together right now to acknowledge that this is happening, but even more importantly, to understand why and what we can do about it. So, I've learned so much in the last 2 years, and I've learned two things for sure. Number one, we don't have to suffer. Okay, if you've been suffering, you don't have to anymore. And number two, our bodies now require different support, right? We have very little room for error now. But when we give ourselves this support, it can actually be a phenomenal time of life because we have all the great stuff that we brought into midlife, and we just need to tweak the other things so we can truly thrive. And that's why I'm so excited to have two brilliant women with me to unpack what that looks like. I'm going to bring them the first one up in a minute, but let me give you a preview. Dr. Cari Schaefer is an integrative medical expert who helps women navigate perimenopause and menopause. And you are going to learn so much from her. And then later, I get to talk with Audrey Zona, who is a midlife weight loss and longevity coach. Okay. So, wherever you are, focus on you for the next little bit and know that help is on the way. Okay. First, Dr. Kari, I am so glad to have you with us. Hello, hello,
Yeah,
hello.
so glad to be here. So glad to be here.
Okay, so I just want to make sure that those who are joining us understand your extensive experience. And get a load of this, everybody. She's a doctor of Chinese medicine. She's a speaker. She's an educator. She's a best-selling author, and she has more than 25 years of experience helping women restore balance and vitality. Can I hear you if that sounds really good to you? All right, put a yes in the chat. Uh, Now, I want to kick off with the basics, Dr. Kari. Why does this transition feel so hard for so many of us? And why does it seem like what used to work for us, maybe in our 20s and 30s, suddenly stops working?
So, one of the things that, listen, when I went into perimenopause, I was 48, and one of my health practitioners, I was already a health practitioner for many years, sent me to a detox retreat center, right? And at that detox retreat center, I was thrown into a perimenopausal syndrome. And the one first thing I want women to understand is there's a difference between perimenopause and menopause and perimenopause and perimenopausal syndrome. Okay, they're totally different things. And what's happening in the conversation around this time of life is we're hearing like perimenopause and a list of symptoms, or menopause and a list of symptoms, and it puts in our brain that is what the experience has to look like, right? Now, a lot of women have symptoms during this time in the West, a lot more than do in Asian cultures. But there's a reason for that, and that's what we're going to unpack today, right? Because when you understand that what's happening is you're not getting a downgrade, as it feels like, you're getting an upgrade. Your system is changing to support you in this third phase of your life. This, ladies, is divinely designed. This is the way you're designed. Your body knows how to do this transition, right? So if it knows how to do it, why does it get so bumpy? Yeah, I mean, that's probably what everybody's like going, well, don't feel like it knows how to do it, right? It certainly didn't for me. For me, I ended up after going to this detox center, I ended up having, it was a health detox center, not a, not anything else detox center. But I ended, yeah, I wrote that in my new book coming out on menopause. And somebody's like, well, oh, so you went to, I was like, no, 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 health detox center. It threw my body into such stress that I left there and I developed phobias. I didn't even know that could be part of perimenopause. I had no idea. So I dove down the rabbit hole and I was like, what is going on here? And I really started to understand. And one of the things I was never educated about in my training, and nobody seems to talk about it, is that the way you make your hormones changes. And again, this is divinely designed. So you were talking about how you can't do the same stuff anymore because you got a different system. Men's bodies don't do this. So they go into puberty and then that's it. They keep doing stuff sort of the same way. They might get declines in hormones, but we literally shift our operating system. So our ovaries were making our hormones, but we don't need them to do that anymore because we're not preparing for babies. And we don't need those high level of hormones. So I always say to women, this is happening for you, ladies, not to you, right? So we shift, and now our adrenals are the major producers of our hormones. And then they produce a precursor to estrogen, which gets made into estrogen, that precursor in fat in our bellies mostly. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Start putting those pieces together, right? So
Mhm.
this becomes so significant because all of those little ways that our bodies weren't getting enough nutrition, we weren't eating enough protein, we were skipping blood sugar, doing intermittent fasting, we were not getting enough sleep, we were go, 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 push, push, push. All those little ways that we treated ourselves before that we got away with, uh, 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 uh. Because now, when your adrenals are overtaxed, right? Your body is not going to do a good job at making the new hormones. And so, because your body's always prioritizing towards the biggest stressor, which is survival. So, if you're living in a fight or flight, your body is not having enough glucose for your brain, your body's handling that and it's not making hormones. You're now going to have suboptimal hormone levels for this phase of life. A lot of people don't understand our hormones are supposed to go down. We don't need all that hormone surging through us to make us fertile, right? But now, so there's a normal level, and I saw somebody in the chat. She went through it. She's been through it for 20 years, no symptoms. Ladies, that's how it's supposed to be. Thank you for sharing that. However, it's not what is common. And so, what we're here to do today is sort of talk to you about what is going to help you make a difference in feeling better during this phase of life.
Well, and I love what you said. It's a reframing for all of us. We're getting an upgrade. This
We are
isn't
getting an
happening
upgrade.
to us, it's happening for us. We just have to work with our body, not against it. Okay, now look, Dr. Cari, there's been so much talked about, especially this week, about HRT, hormone replacement therapy. The black box warnings were just recently removed. It's an important tool in the midlife toolkit. It's certainly been life-changing for me, but we're not going to focus on it today. I do want to acknowledge that there may still be women who are either wary of it based on the flaw studies of the
Past.
past or uneducated healthcare providers. Um, I want you to share with us briefly your opinion of HRT and whether or not it should be an important consideration for women with their healthcare providers.
Yeah, so not every woman, I don't believe every woman needs it. Some people, some practitioners do, I don't.
Mhm.
Because HRT for me solves one issue. It solves the low hormone issue. But if you go to the next step is, well, why aren't the adrenals making enough hormones? And so we go to adrenal health. And then below that, what's stressing our body out so much that we're not making enough hormones? So we take HRT, we feel a little better. But if we've got underlying things that are stressing our body out, we're going to continue to prematurely age. We're going to continue to create inflammation in our system. We're going to continue to degenerate faster than we need to, right? The natural aging process faster. HRT just helps with the hormones. So the hormonal balance. Now, low hormones are a real issue. They do drive inflammation in the body, which drives a breakdown of the brain and the heart and all of that. So we don't want to be walking around with really low hormones. But what I tell women is if your hormones are a little low and you don't have a lot of other stress on your system, you can probably get it balanced out with other stuff. You don't need to go on hormone replacement. If someone's got a really, like for me, I'm on some hormone replacement. I was unwell for a long time and my adrenal system is still, a little lagging because of that. So for me, hormone replacement was a necessary piece to get my whole system. But I didn't stop there, right? I continued to improve my systems and make sure I was getting the nutrition I needed and make sure my detoxification systems were working and make sure all of that was happening as well as the hormone replacement. And as a matter of fact, if your liver isn't able to detoxify properly, let's say you're not giving it enough protein to do what it needs to do, or you're not giving it the nutrients it needs to do what it needs to do, you will that hormone replacement can actually become a problem because it builds up in your body in an unhealthy way. Right. So when we're on HRT, we have to still make sure we're covering all the other bases.
Okay, so gang, do you hear that? It is
Mm,
not the panacea. It may
mhm,
not be for everyone. Certainly for me, it has been helpful with certain things, but it didn't take care of everything.
mhm,
Okay, so one of the biggest complaints of most women, especially the ones that I talk to day in, day out, going through this midlife period, is that, okay, I'm eating the same, but I'm
mhm.
gaining weight. I am like a puffer fish. Okay, tell us, Dr. Cari, what the heck is going
Is
on?
Okay, so as our estrogen levels do drop naturally, and if they go lower, well, first of all, high stress puts on weight, right? And you're going to see those effects more now than you did, particularly around the middle. That's true in the aging process. But when estrogen levels drop, our body is like, gotta make more estrogen. Guess where it doesn't? In fat, right? So it starts to hold on to fat. There are 9 factors I've identified that play a role in weight. So, 9. So, some of the major pieces, though, are things like lacking nutrition, right? Not having the nutrients that the body needs causes the body to not be able to detoxify. Most toxins are stored in fat. So if our body can't eliminate those toxins, they end up getting stored in fat. Now, when our estrogen levels are low, we become more insulin resistant. We have a harder time utilizing our glucose. When we have too much glucose in our blood, guess what our body does? It makes fat. So that's where blood sugar regulation becomes paramount, making sure we're getting enough protein, making sure we're getting just the right amount of fat, making sure we're getting just the right amount of carbohydrates in a balanced way becomes paramount during this time to weight loss. We
Mhm.
do not need as many calories. We're not quite as stressed out as we used to be in many cases. I know right now we feel that way, but we tend not to be running around as much. We just don't need as many calories. And I have seen this was the case with me. I started putting the weight on and I couldn't figure it out. And it was that I was just overeating because I never had a problem before. My smoothie in the morning had like 900 calories in it. It was crazy, all good stuff, but it was a lot of calories. So we have to really, I don't want people to micromanage calories, but we've got to look at that and pay attention. And then another really big factor, it can be emotions, how we feel about our bodies. Because what happens for women is um, they stop getting the same attention And so they start blaming it on how their body looks, that 5 pounds around the midline or whatever. And that's not why we're not getting the same attention, ladies. We actually change biologically to not get as much attention. Literally, we change biologically because we're not supposed to be pulling the attention from a just biological standpoint. We're not supposed to be pulling the attention from the women who are procreating. That doesn't mean we can't meet somebody. I fell in love at 45. I'm super happily married. Yes. And, adult mature relationships are so awesome, right? But it does mean that it's not the weight that is causing it. So women get in this loop around it, they get in this diet mindset, and they start obsessing around it, and that actually blocks our ability to lose weight. Why? Keeps us in a stress state,
Mhm.
right?
Right. Okay. So you've said it, we've all heard it. You cannot live right now in our world, be on social media without being bombarded with the importance of protein. Okay.
Yes. Hmm.
Is is all protein created equal,
Oh no.
or or
No.
do we need to be concerned with what sources we're getting, and is it, are our bodies able to actually digest it?
So important, such an important question. There was just a big thing in the news about lead and protein powders, right? Whenever you take a protein and you condense it, or not just protein, anything, you run the risk of quality, right? And years ago there was this really what a respected protein company out there, powder company, and I was talking to somebody and they had gotten identified as having heavy metals, and I was talking to somebody and I said, "Gosh, that's so sad." And he goes, "Oh, he knew." He's known for a while. He just didn't know what to do about it, right? So you
Wow.
have to make sure with things like protein powders that the source is clean. And then even with our animal proteins, if we're eating animal proteins, if we're not eating animal proteins, ladies, you have to make sure you are getting enough protein because protein is the backbone for every enzymatic function that happens in your body, and enzymatic functions equal life. You don't do anything in your body without enzymes. So you got to make sure you're getting those essential daily protein, those amino acids every day. And many women don't understand you've got to replace those daily, right? So when we come to animal protein, toxins are stored in fat. So you got to be buying really high quality animals that have been treated really well. Otherwise, you're going to just get all those toxins in your body from the fat. And those toxins are xenoestrogens, and they throw your hormones off. And they're the things that predispose you to cancer and uterine fibroids and things like that. It's actually those xenoestrogens that are throwing our hormones out of balance. So it's a really big, big, big thing to pay attention to is your source.
Wow. Okay. And what is a great rule of thumb for us to shoot for each meal in terms of how much protein?
Yeah, so I go with 21 grams of protein. That's how I look at it. Some people like more than that, but I look at sort of balancing out the blood sugar, and a ratio to do that is about 27 grams of carbohydrates, 21 grams of protein, and a little bit of fat, just like a tablespoon or something of fat in a meal. That ratio. Now, some people need more calories in that, and so they'll take those same ratios and they'll increase them, but it just really depends on the individual. But you do want to make sure that you're getting it, you're getting the right amount in a day for your body.
And because most of us, I don't know about those of you watching, but I'm not counting grams of protein versus carbs at every meal because life
Yeah,
is just too
be
crazy,
sure.
crazy
Yeah,
busy.
so most carbohydrates, it's about a cup, unless it's like leafy greens and all of that, then it's like 4 cups. And then it's about the size of the palm of your hand. And then if it's fish, it's the whole hand. And we're not talking about like this thick, So like a normal piece about the size of your hand is about that 21 grams. 3 eggs is 21 grams. That can be a lot of eggs to eat, but 3 eggs is 21 grams. So that's kind of the general rule for that.
And the more we fill our pie holes with low glycemic, high fiber, rainbow a day of fruits and vegetables and this high quality lean protein, then we're doing great stuff by our bodies. And I can tell you that has made an enormous difference for me.
So I just was reading a study they came out with on the ketogenic diet. A lot of us went into that ketogenic phase. Then we came out of it and all gained weight. Why? Because you're eating super high calorie food and you're no longer in ketosis. When you're in ketosis, it doesn't matter that you're eating high calorie foods. When you're not in ketosis, it makes a huge difference. So then we all gain weight because we're eating all those nuts and whatever, right? So, but what they were talking about was the ketogenic diet for seizures. And what was so interesting was people who did ketogenic and took fiber with it worked better than people who did ketogenic and didn't have fiber. Fiber is such an important piece of weight loss. You can literally change your microbiome and help yourself lose weight by putting a good quality fiber in. And if you can't handle, some fibers, try water soluble fibers you might have an easier time with. But you want to, fiber is such an important piece because a lot of us are avoiding carbohydrates, or we have been, right? It was fat for a long time and then it went to carbohydrates. Fiber feeds the good bugs in your gut. And they did, in that same study, they studied what happened to the gut. Those people that didn't eat the fiber, the bad bugs grew and flourished. Those are the things that make us gain weight, right? So that fiber in our diet is essential. The only thing you want to know with fiber is if take it, look at in our food, yes, but having a little bit of a supplement of it really helps. You want to take it alone. You don't want to do it with food or with your vitamins because it binds to the nutrients and can pull them out of the body. So you want to just take it kind of separately.
Oh, okay, amazing tips. Thank you so much. Okay, other symptoms that are epidemic that we
Mhm.
have to touch on. Mood swings, irritability. My husband, all of a sudden, he chews and breathes so loudly that brain fog, inability to focus.
Yeah.
If I had $1,000, Dr. Kari, for every conversation I've had with a friend where she said, I think I'm going crazy. I can't even focus on what I need to do. Okay, why do these hit so many of us so
Yeah.
hard during this time?
So you asked a lot of areas, and they're a little bit different answers. So let's talk moods. So moods are one of the easiest things for me to straighten out because very often with moods, you just get some neurotransmitter support in there, and the mood picks up. Like women come to me and they're just like, ah, and they're miserable. And I get on the phone with them and I'm like, oh yeah, okay. And then just after a couple sessions, they're like, I'm good. I don't need you. I'm like, yes, yes, yes. We're not done just because you feel a little bit better right now. So that kind of stuff is really helpful. The thing to understand when our estrogen levels go down, our serotonin goes down, right? So our happy neurotransmitter goes down. When progesterone goes down, our GABA goes down. You know that epidemic we're having of ADHD? Hello, ladies. Without enough GABA, you're not able to focus and you're feeling anxious, right? And so that's why the brain you start to have more emotional stuff. Now, brain fog is a different thing. Brain fog can contribute to the moods, but brain fog is neural inflammation. Okay. And neural inflammation is not okay. So, neural inflammation happens when the brain we're not getting enough sleep. We're not detoxifying properly. We got to have that deep sleep to detoxify and sleep. We'll probably be talking about sleep in a minute, right? And brain fog happens when our brain is inflamed. So what starts to happen when the estrogen levels go down, our inflammatory markers go up. Like inflammation goes up. So something we may have tolerated, like a food intolerance that we've been eating for a long time and kind of getting by with, now we may not get by with it anymore. Right? Does that make sense? And so brain fog is a sign that your body is under stress. And if you get your diet balanced out, get your blood sugar balanced out, take steps to get your sleep better, and you're still not able to get the brain fog better, that's a time when you go get the hormones checked and you also work with somebody to try to identify what are the stressors that are driving the inflammation. That's a super important one because it's totally fixable, but if we don't fix it, it can have long-term negative effects.
And oftentimes I've heard from so many of my friends who have gone to their healthcare providers, complained of that along with other perimenopausal symptoms, And it's been dismissed. Oh, it's just part of it. You'll get through it. No, like you said, that is a big warning flag that there's inflammation. So that's
And somebody just pointed out very often in this phase of life, that little bit of bloating that you've had, the way you've adjusted your diet to not feel uncomfortable, the foods you avoid, those are all signs that there's dysbiosis in your digestive tract, that things are out of balance. We go into this phase and a body doesn't tolerate anymore. The number of women that I find who have SIBO underlying, yeah, underlying, they for years, me too. I was one of those too, managing it fine. I always had a flat belly. I went into this and it was like, whew, it was crazy because I had that underlying digestive thing that I had learned what to eat and what not to eat to aggravate it, right? But I wasn't
yeah,
fixing it. And so our body is just like, no, no, no. I want to bring one point in here, okay? Why
yeah.
is our body doing it? I really believe. So we're stepping in to, if you look sort of anthropologically, right, from a biological perspective, why do our hormones change? We're stepping into a new role. We literally are designed to become the wisdom keepers. We're designed to be the wise women. We were the healers, right? We were the women that taught the tribe how to survive. We
Mhm.
passed on the knowledge. If we are stressed out, right? If we're like, running around like crazy, we're not going to be good at that job. Imagine you're sitting around the campfire and the elder is telling her stories, and every time she's paying attention to the little kid over here and the cute guy that walked in, we're not going to be good at it. So we literally biologically change to make us good at this job. So anyway, we're living out of balance. Our body's like, nah, I need you to get yourself balanced out so you can fulfill this role. It literally is a biological purpose that has been completely lost in our culture. And ladies, let's just imagine for a minute if the wise woman were back in control, what would it look like? Like not even in control, just, up there. I had a woman tell me, and she studied with a Native American tribe, and she said that when her tribe, before they would ever go to war, had to consult the Women's Council. Where's our Women's Council, right? We need to be feeling good. We need to be out there and we need to be getting our wise women on out there so we can teach these younger generations how to navigate, right?
Oh, I just absolutely love that. Okay, you mentioned sleep,
Yes.
and sleep just completely goes awry for so many women during this time. Um, why is this happening, and how can we help?
Yeah. So again, remember I talked about estrogen goes down,
Hmm.
serotonin goes down, melatonin goes down.
Hmm.
So one of the things that many women don't know is that melatonin is a hormone. So I really love to try to balance things out before melatonin, right? That's like a last resort in the process because I prefer us to make our own hormones when we can rather than adding in a bunch of too many different hormones, right? So so that's one reason. Estrogen goes down, serotonin goes down, melatonin. Melatonin is important for a lot of reasons, right? So there are precursors to melatonin that you can take to support the production of melatonin, and I'd like to start that way with women. The next piece is that when progesterone goes down, GABA goes down, and GABA moderates anxiety. So you're doing that, wake up in the middle of the night or wake up in the morning startled. That's cortisol kicking up due to low melatonin production and also due probably to lower progesterone and lower GABA, right? So when we balance out the body and we promote the optimal production of these hormones by our adrenals, right? That sleep should start to come back in alignment. And then there's lots of stuff that you can do from a supplement perspective to support sleep as well.
Okay, that's incredibly helpful. The other thing that I personally have noticed and noticed with a lot um, of my friends is also when you're having enough protein throughout the day and having a good quality, adequate amount of protein at dinner as well, it also helps with your sleep.
Yes, because again, why blood sugar regulation? So this is such a good one because it's our adrenals that regulate our blood sugar. So our adrenals, when our blood sugar drops, don't get enough glucose to the brain, it's an emergency. So your body puts out stress hormones to solve that emergency. Why I don't love that skipping meal thing, right? And so it puts out stress hormones. So you're sleeping, your body starts to run out. And if your adrenals are really balanced and doing good, they kick out a little bit of cortisol just to get a little blood sugar out there. Well, when the adrenals are tired, they start overshooting. And now you're awake in the middle of the night. So waking in the middle of the night is very often a blood sugar issue. Absolutely. So that protein before meal, before bed, not right before bed, but as your last meal, that protein, it can be really helpful with that sleep cycle.
Yeah. Okay. So, um, let's talk about making sure you're getting all your bases covered with nutrients.
Yeah.
Do you think multivitamins are helpful?
Some yes, some no. So I wrote a book on food because food is the foundation for health, straight up. But
Mhm.
there's been a lot of research done where people are taking a bunch of vitamins and they actually weren't good for you because they actually shortened, people's, whether or not they got better from whatever they were doing. Because if you're taking just a bunch of junk, look at B vitamins, cheap B vitamins, they're made with sewage sludge.
Yeah.
Literally. They're like grown in sewage sludge. Yuck, ladies, that's not going to promote vitality and health, right? And so you got to know the sources. But look at our food has, that's what my book is all about. Our food has been changed so much that unless you are really, really paying attention to getting really nutrient dense food and you're at that farmer's market every Saturday or you're growing your own food, you could be missing stuff. And so taking something to just give the body that general, support is a really good idea nowadays because it's much
And
harder.
and because we can't eat pristinely every day because we know our soils aren't what they used to be. We know that the time from harvest to getting to the grocery store into our mouths and our families' mouths is longer and longer. We've got to have that added foundational support to help balance hormones for our energy, for our immune systems. Um,
What people don't realize is that those fluorescent lights in your supermarkets destroy B vitamins.
did you hear that, gang? Hello? Yeah, yeah.
And then they're picking the vegetables. How do they get vegetables from Mexico here and have them not be rotten? They pick them unripe. And then
So,
they gas them so they stop ripening. And then they ship them here. And then when they're ready to put them on the shelf, they gas them so that they quickly ripen. What are you losing when you do that? You're losing all the nutrition,
yeah,
right? And so the amount of nutrition in truly organic vegetables, and unfortunately, ladies, that organic label doesn't mean what it used to. They keep changing the law so they can make it, that's why big box stores can sell organic now, right?
that's exactly it. So, a good multi that you can trust is
Yes.
actually like an insurance policy. And maybe we could have gotten away with it without it when we were in our 20s, maybe even 30s. But
Remember I call it living in the red. So when we don't have the
ooh,
nutrients that our body needs to
yeah,
run itself every day. This
yeah.
is one of the things about, some of the weight loss stuff that's out there. My concern is when people are skipping meals and not eating enough, your body doesn't have the nutrients that it needs in order to run itself. And so where does it do? It goes to its stores. And what are its stores, ladies? Bones. The stores are your muscles, right? And so if you are, not getting the nutrients that you need, you're going to be living in the red, which means stealing from your stores. Osteoporosis is straight up a body that's been living in the red, right? Absolutely. So making sure you're getting the right nutrition is the foundation. It is where you have to start. You just have to make sure that you're getting the right blood sugar in. And ladies, blood sugar isn't, so a lot of times someone will look like, okay, I need 2,000 calories a day. And then they skip meals all day. And then at dinner, they eat a giant meal. It's not 2,000 calories in one meal. It's split up. You do that and all you're going to do is make fat, right? All that extra calorie you don't need in that immediate moment is just going to get made into fat. It's 2,000 calories in a day. Spread it out, not all at once.
That's right. That's right. I could talk to you forever. Anybody else could you listen to Dr. Kari forever? Okay, but um I want you to give us, if you could, one thing you wish every woman understood about her body for the second half of her life.
Well, this fact, so this is the thing, ladies, that you have to understand. From now until forever, your adrenals are making your hormones. Anytime you have symptoms, so say you suddenly start getting hot flashes, you haven't had hot flashes in years. I want you to think, what is stressing my system out? Now, I'm going to tell you, ladies, a secret. The number one thing that I see causing hot flashes in women is immune challenges. The number one thing I see. You handle the immune challenge, the hot flashes go away. So I've had women that for a year have been not being able to sleep due to night sweats. Within a week, they're gone because we handled the immune challenge. But that's a side note. Now, so the number one thing I want women to understand is your operating system's different. Your adrenals are now making your hormones, or your with the help of fat for the estrogen. And so stress matters now in a way it didn't before. So learning to live a balanced lifestyle, making choices that aren't overly stressing your body out is a really good idea. It wasn't a great idea in perimenopause for me to go to that drastic detox camp and completely stress my body out, right?
Right.
Was not a good idea for me and my history. Somebody else might have done fine, but for me and my history. So, but that's true now until forever. So any time in your life when your system's really stressed, when you're under a lot of stress for some reason, or you've got something lingering, don't let it linger. Take care of it and take steps to give extra support to your body during that time, right? Maybe take some digestive enzymes because when we're stressed, our energy goes out of our stomach and goes out to our limbs and our brain so we can run, fight, or hide, right? Maybe we get back on that, taking that extra protein support. We want to do something to support ourselves during times of stress, because stress has a tenfold effect on our body now than it used to.
Wow. All
It can
right.
even be more than tenfold. I just kind of made that number up.
Yeah, honey, it felt like a hell of a lot more than tenfold.
Yeah,
I
right.
gotta tell you. Okay, you mentioned that you have a book coming out next year. It's
Yes.
called it's called
Your
what?
menopause midwife.
Your Menopause Midwife. I love that. And what can everyone expect in this book? I can't
So
wait to read.
we're gonna talk about some of the stuff we talked about. We're gonna dive much more deeply into it. And again, we're really gonna look at those hidden stressors that we talked about, that are the thing that are stressing out the adrenals, that are causing the low hormone production. That's my whole jam. It's like, don't stop with the hormones, lady. You got to keep going down chain. And it's a lot of the basics. It's all about, making sure you're getting the right nutrition and making sure you're balancing your blood sugar. Start a daily practice where you're bringing your nervous system down every day. A lot of the lifestyle stuff. And then helping you figure out, like, do I have a digestive issue? Are my adrenals out of balance? All that kind of stuff. So it's
Oh,
really helping women take this information and then unpack it.
okay. Well, judging from the chat, people cannot wait for this book. How can folks find you? Can you share your website, please?
Yeah. So I will write it in here so you can cut and paste.
Okay.
And
And we're going to
on
speak
there, if
it
you
for
want
folks who are watching the replay.
yeah, I will. Um, uh, and then I'm just making sure I put the right thing in. So it's Dr. Cari, Cari, the number 4, health, HEALTH.com. And on there, if you had it, when I talked about all those things that affected weight during this time, there's a free gift in there. If you click on the page that's about menopause, there's a free gift you can sign up for and get that about weight. So you're welcome to do that. You're also welcome to sign up for a free 20-minute. I talk to women for free about what's going on, because we gotta change this story for women. It's so important.
Absolutely. So, somebody's asking for the website. If you're on the chat live, you can see it. Otherwise, I'm going to tell you again, get ready. drcari4health.com. That's DRCARI, the number 4 health.com. Dr. Cari, thank you so much for being with us. This was extraordinarily helpful. I look forward to talking to you again. And now I'm really excited because I am bringing up, hello, Audrey. Audrey, I'm
Hello.
so glad you're here. Look at you in this emerald green.
My Shackley Green.
I absolutely love it. It's beautiful. And just in time,
Hello.
Wicked is about to come out soon. So you're
Right.
right on brand with that too. Okay, so everyone, for over a decade, Audrey's been helping hundreds of women with nutrition and fitness and how to age with strength and loads of vitality and feeling confident in their clothes, including swimsuits. And clearly, you know what you're doing. I mean, look at you. Can you share with us how young you are,
All
Audrey?
right, I'll share. Yes, thank you, Romy. I am turning 60 in February. The big 60. I can't even get over it. It's like a little scary.
Oh my God,
But
that's so incredible. Wait a minute, everybody. This is 60.
Aries.
Hello, right? I'll
Right.
have what she's having.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know. Listen, I'll be very honest and very transparent with you that I was not always so healthy and I was not always in shape. And my sister, who's on, would attest, I was the chubby little girl who was made fun of all the time. And she used to come home and cry and say to my mom, I feel so bad. Everyone's making fun of Audrey. So I had a really, really rough beginning. I did. I had a total addiction to food and sugar and all the things, and I have truly spent my lifetime creating what I do today in order to help women to get off the sidelines of life and to live their most beautiful, vibrant lives possible. And I've always been a sharer, and I love, love, love from the bottom of my heart to help other women to feel amazing. And I'm a weight loss coach, and I do all the things. And I just, after years of so much study and knowledge and using myself as a guinea pig and working with so many doctors, I feel like I've kind of cracked the code almost, and it just gives me great pleasure to help all of you. So I'm just thrilled to be here, truly.
Oh, that's so great. Okay, Dr. Kari just explained what's happening in our bodies, why it feels like everything's changing, upgrading, right? Not
We're
going to pot.
upgrading.
We are
Yes.
upgrading. So Audrey not only coaches women through this stage, she uses products that help with exactly what Dr. Kari talked about. So let's start with protein, right? It's critical for metabolism, muscle, mood, sleep, uh,
Everything,
everything.
everything.
Yes.
And I'm like, I'm smirking behind the scenes as I'm listening because, you know, um, protein is having such a moment, but I have been speaking about protein for 20, 25 years to my peeps. And I know how incredibly important it is. And I figured out a long time ago that it was the only thing that kept me full and satisfied.
Mhm.
So I do recommend to my clientele that they get anywhere from 20 to 30 grams of protein at every single meal. So I go a little bit higher than Dr. Kari mentioned. I just find that almost 30 grams really seems to make a difference, especially at breakfast and especially at dinner. So, you can kind of hit a little if you need to go lower at lunch, not a big deal, but I really always say shoot for 20 20 20 or 30 30 30. I tell most of my ladies to try to get close to 100 grams a day, including that snack. And that seems to be like the magic number. Now, of course, this depends, Romy, on your size, your age, and your activity levels, of course. But if you're really shooting for that 20 to 30, you will be in a great place. And one of my most favorite things that we have is the Life Shake. So, should we talk about that now and
Oh,
how
yes, we have got to
amazing?
talk about the Life Shake. This is a
Okay.
daily life changer.
Okay, guys. So this has become a tremendous tool in my own personal toolbox as well as with clients. Why? Okay. 20 grams of protein in a serving, 6 grams of fiber. As you just heard Dr. Kari say, fiber is so just as important as the protein. Low glycemic, a certain threshold of leucine. We're going to talk a lot about leucine today because leucine in my book is the most important amino acid. And when you have the certain threshold, the certain amount in products, it's like a switch that goes off in your system. And we then create what we call protein muscle synthesis. So the body is now being triggered to create muscle, to build muscle with those amino acids. So this is low glycemic, it's got 21 vitamins and minerals. And what I love most, it's easy. When we have things that are easy to do day in and day out, we find ourselves with consistency, and consistency yields results. So you could literally throw the 2 scoops in a shaker bottle with ice and water and almond milk if you choose, or just water. I've got clients that just do water, no ice, no nothing, and they're out the door taking their kids to school. You could spend a few more minutes and throw it in your Vitamix. That's what I like to do, with maybe a little piece of a frozen banana and some powdered peanut butter, and it's delicious, absolutely delicious. This every single day, you're going to get in your 20 or more grams of protein, because we can add in the collagen, which we're going to talk about in a moment. Or if you even want to make this a little bulkier, some yogurt or cottage cheese is incredible. So this becomes a staple, and then you don't have to worry, like, where is my morning protein coming from? This is it,
You're
right?
literally getting a
It's
perfect meal.
perfect. It's amazing. And when we're on the topic of protein, I got to talk about our magic in a can.
I've
It's
been sipping mine during this because I didn't have time for dinner.
This is literally next level. And I feel like every single day I'm hearing more and more from clients, and I'm getting feedback that is blowing my mind. 40 grams of protein, grass fed, ultra filtered, BLG whey. So we're talking Rolls Royce of a whey protein, my friends,
And lactose free, which for me,
is everything.
huge.
The
Yes.
ultra filtered, there's no fat, there's no lactose, and there's virtually very little casein. So I have people that typically can't do whey. They're having no issues with this whatsoever. Now, I have some very exciting news to share about this. I have a registered dietitian that I work with who has her patients using this as a tool. It's lowering blood sugar like she has never seen before. It is because of our threshold of the leucine. There's a little, slightly more than 3 grams of leucine in this can. They're waking up. So anybody listening who has pre-diabetes or diabetes, I know we're off the menopause track for a moment, but this is very important information. This is lowering blood sugar by 20, 30, and even up to 40 points. It's, she keeps saying to me, Audrey, it's revolutionary. She keeps texting me information, and she says, I cannot get over what is going on with this magical can of protein. So I just can't get over this. So most of my clients I have doing this, even half a can before the workout in the morning, because it actually is important to get a little protein before your weight training. Maybe they're finishing up half a can in the afternoon as a snack. I personally do about a half a can in the afternoon in a big glass of ice and a splash of my Vivix in there. It's like a little cranberry shot. It's amazing. So lots of things that we can do with this, but amazing applications.
Okay, since you pulled up the Vivix, why don't
Yeah,
we go to that right now? And this is
sure.
really relevant because Dr. Cari was just talking about inflammation. I mean, I hope everyone, people were like, what? The brain fog is inflammation?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Let's talk about this.
Yeah, so Vivix is just a one of a kind product,
Mhm.
powered by the muscadine grape and a major dose of polyphenols with 27 global patents. Basically, guys, this is lowering inflammation and turning back the clock on a cellular level. That's what this is all about, longevity. Our cells are being attacked trillions of times a minute. We have such oxidative stress happening into our bodies every day from all that's coming at us. How do we combat that? What do we do, right? So this is one of the many things that we now have accessible, thankfully, such a phenomenal product. that can really slow down the aging process on a cellular level. That is what this does. And I will also tell you, I have had many clients have this prior to like a heavier meal. And they'll tell me like that heavier Thanksgiving meal, for instance, would always make them feel ill. They have that serving, that teaspoon of this before, they feel amazing afterwards. So we know based on the McDonald's study that we had done that this absolutely blunts an inflammatory response.
Mhm.
So a fabulous product to start adding to your regime if you haven't, helps with the inflammation coming from menopause and more.
And I personally like the gel caps.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
I I'm being
Yes.
honest.
Yeah.
I don't love the taste of Vivix. People love it. They love it. And they mix it with stuff like the sparkling and
Yeah.
mocktails and all the things. I don't like
It
it.
is.
So I just take the gel tabs, same
Mhm.
effect, same absorption, all of it. So either way
Yeah.
you want to do it.
We all have such a different taste bud, right? Like some people are obsessed with the gummies, which I think are coming back in January. I happen to love the gummies.
Yeah.
Some just don't. So I always say, give it a try and see what floats your boat. So
Right. And because we have an unlimited lifetime guarantee, if you try something and it doesn't work, then it's really easy to
correct.
swap it out or return it. Okay.
Exactly.
Um, I want to talk about collagen,
Yeah.
okay?
Yes.
Because as we know, this time of life, our connective tissue, I mean, it starts back in our late 20s,
Correct.
how our connective tissue, our collagen breaks down. But certainly in this time of life, it affects everything, skin, joints, our gut, because our gut is connective tissue, people. And they all
Mhm.
feel the effects of declining estrogen. Okay, so why don't you walk us through our collagen and
Yes.
really how next
Impor-
level it is?
Yeah, and so important. From the age of 25 on, we lose collagen every year, but most people don't even realize that the first 5 years that you're starting to go through menopause, we have about a 30% decline of collagen, more than ever. So we really have to put this back into our bodies. And I know that once I started, oh my goodness, I really did start to feel a significant difference. So we are so lucky to have our collagen 9, which has so this is a powder, and this I add personally every day to my coffee. You can add it to tea. It even dissolves in a room temperature or colder liquid. I've done it in iced coffee and it's great. So this has all 9 essential amino acids, which is also unique. Not all collagens do, but what makes ours so special is it has vitamin C and biotin. Guys, you need the vitamin C for the collagen fibers to do what they need to do internally. If you do not have vitamin C with it, it's a complete waste. Most people are unaware, and most other collagen companies do not include vitamin C. It's just the collagen. So, this makes ours so incredibly unique and special. This is a type 1 and a type 3, which really focuses on hair, skin, nails, and some joint health, but mostly about hair, skin, and nails. So now we have this collagen. So I only have here the trim and smooth and the trim to show you, but I also have the pure and the life in my fridge. I just didn't take all of them out to show. This is so unbelievable. So this is a patented award-winning collagen hyaluronic acid matrix. This is going to really support not only hair, skin, nails, but joints, connective tissue, and it's going to put, I like to talk about it in this sense, it's going to put the juiciness back in your joints and your body. You know, when a baby is born and they're all like yummy and juicy and they got all the rolls and we're like, oh, they're so yummy. That's actually the hyaluronic acid that we're born with. And as they start to age, we talk about how the child's thinning out. It's actually because our hyaluronic acid is now starting to decline. We have to put this back into our system somehow. And this is such an unbelievable matrix of both the collagen and hyaluronic acid together. Now, so uniquely put together, we have also added another incredible ingredient called CLA, conjugated linoleic acid, and that is in our trim and our trim smooth, which is going to help to burn fat, preserve lean body mass, and it basically is signaling the body to not store fat. When I tell you this stuff is magic. And I know Roby feels the same way. I probably about 100 to 150 clients now taking this religiously, and they are all telling me my cellulite is starting to go away. I am thinning out. I have never seen anything work like this before.
Mhm.
This is a type 2 collagen, and it's very, very different from type 1 and 3, but they work synergistically together. It's like this is sort of like the raw material, and this is like the worker crew. And so this is making this work even better. So in this instance, more is better. I often have a line and say, guys, more is not always better, right? With collagen, it is.
Mhm.
You kind of want to get all of it going to really support absolutely everything that we are missing and that is declining as we are aging, especially in this menopausal space.
And as you're trying to figure out, okay, well, what should I be taking now? And maybe you don't want to do everything. Think about what is bothering you the most. Okay, so for me, I have had this deep, achy joints from menopause, and the liquid biocell, what Audrey's talking about, it got rid of it. It's remarkable. And we even have chews that you can take for traveling because this stuff has to stay refrigerated. So I will take those chews and travel with them. I will not go a day without this. And if you have extra, I like to call it peri pudge on your belly, your hips, your tuchus,
Yeah.
you want to incorporate the trim or the trim and smooth to tackle that and any cellulite you have. Then, if you can layer on top of it the collagen 9 and get an additional 10 grams of protein in whatever you're
Yes.
putting it in,
Yes.
okay, that is just like the full court
Yeah.
press, the piece de
Yeah.
resistance.
Yeah. It's
Right?
amazing. It really is. And I will tell you that when I started with the collagen powder, the collagen 9, my hairdresser, it took about honestly, probably a couple of months, but she kept saying to me, and I've had like thinning hair for many, many years. She's like, oh, your hair really is so much better. It's like thicker and fuller and more alive and all the things. So I've been very religious with it because I really, really do believe it's making a big difference. And I see this in so many of my clients as well. So it's just, this stuff is amazing, just amazing. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So um we
I know.
we're packing this. We are at damn near the hour mark, but I want us to keep going because I want folks to understand how we still have more solutions based on what Dr. Cari said that we need. Okay, we know gut health influences hormones, inflammation, even mood, right? Okay, so I I want us to talk just for a moment about Good Gut and Go. I know it's one of your favorites to work with your clients. And by the way, it's one of the best product names ever, Good Gut and Go. Can you mention briefly about it?
Yes, it's amazing. I'm gonna just bring up like one quick testimonial because I think this is speaks volumes. I have a male physician that I work with, and I got him on this a few months ago, and he messaged me and said that stuff. He's like, Audrey, what's with that Good Gut and Go? I feel unbelievable. I'm going to the bathroom better than ever. And it's always too much, TMI, but that's what we do. Um,
Everybody poops.
we all poop. And he said, my sugar cravings have like virtually gone away. What's going on with this? So this is what happens is that when we put this major dose, 10 billion CFU of a probiotic into our gut, along with the fiber, the prebiotic fiber, which Dr. Cari mentioned, the prebiotic fiber is the food for the good gut flora, right? Okay, so I always like to talk about it in terms of we've got a good army and a bad army. And if that bad army is too big and growing, it's going to crave sugar. It's causing inflammation. It's going to cause mood swings. It's doing all the things. Remember, the gut is our second brain, and there's this gut brain axis. And so it's all connected. If your flora is not in a good space, you're not producing serotonin properly, you don't have a strong immune system, you're going to crave the junk food, and you're just not going to feel well. this is going to basically remedy everything else, everything that I just listed. So you've got major probiotic here, you've got the prebiotic fiber, you have the food for the good flora, you've got fiber, which another client just said to me the other day, could that be making me feel full? Yes, because fiber will make you feel full. So this is one of my absolute favorites. I have total pill fatigue. I can't stand taking supplements. I stare at the bottles and then I don't take them. Anything with a powder, I'm all over. So I do this every single day. I also do a half a packet of my electrolytes with this. And this is like my morning cocktail, and I'm obsessed with it. I've gone through so many bags. I recommend it to every single client. We all love it. It's wonderful. If you're not taking a probiotic, I encourage you to try it. If you are taking one, but you're feeling like maybe it's not doing quite enough, I encourage you to give this a try. I think it's phenomenal. Yeah.
Okay. Now we got some for sleep too,
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's the foundation of everything Dr. Cari mentioned, right? It's so important. How has rest and rewind changed things for your clients?
Okay. So rest and rewind. And I'm going to speak to this a little bit differently. After dinner, so many of us are looking for that something. Many of us want a snack. We have a sweet tooth. We want just to kind of seal the day. And I have for years recommended some kind of a tea, a cinnamon tea, a mint tea, and it's nourishing, it's warm, it's a little filling. It just gives us that touch of something
It's
to just
satiating.
it's just the thing that we all are looking
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
When I came upon Rest and Rewind, I this is probably I don't know how many bags I've been through already. This is the real deal. Not only is it giving me that little sweet, my clients love it. It's that mint. It's warm, it's nourishing, all the things. But when I tell you that I sleep so much deeper when having this tea, and I've tested it so many nights, and I know that this is working. So we have magnesium in here, we have lemon balm for calming, we have the 5-HTP, which is also to help serotonin production, right? So and it has an antioxidant blend as well. So this is sort of like a powerhouse of antioxidants for beauty, for recovery, plus it's helping you to sleep deeper. I love this. I absolutely love this. I think it's amazing. Yes.
And it's non-habit forming, and you don't wake up groggy.
No.
So you're getting
No.
all the benefits, all the things that Dr. Cari said you need. They're in this baby. Who
And
knew?
I need to do a shout out for our Dream Serene. It's fabulous. I love. Have you tried it?
So, truth, again, this is no filter Romy.
Yep.
Um, it has valerian. I hate the smell of valerian.
Um,
I cannot
it
go near it.
okay.
I can smell it
It
40 miles away.
all right.
Keep that
It's
stuff away. But for those
I
folks who don't bother
it
with that, I'm a rest and rewind girl every
I
night.
do both.
That's my
I
thing.
started with Dream Serene. I had a few of my ladies say to me, Audrey, it's phenomenal, and I ordered it. When I opened it, the smell was a little much, but I got to tell you, once again, I am sleeping so much deeper. So I think it's phenomenal. It's
Okay, so here's my advice. Okay, here's my advice, gang. Those of you watching,
yeah,
start with the rest and rewind.
yes,
Okay, and if that doesn't do it, then try adding in the dream serene. Okay,
yeah.
I think that's a good
I think
good
that's a great, yes, start with this first and then
escalation.
go. But like
Yeah,
it's only when you open the bottle that you smell it. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know, whatever. To me, my sleep is everything. So if I'm gonna get the deep sleep, I'll do it.
Yes, yes, and smell is my most acute sense, so I could be
Yeah,
overly sensitive. Okay, I don't want to. I'm just going
I
to
know.
mention really quickly because I don't want to run too late.
Yeah.
Dr. Cari talked about our the importance of, unless you are growing your own food and being pristine with what you're eating all the time, the importance of supplementing with a multivitamin. I encourage all of you to speak with the ambassador who invited you about the different ones that we have we can offer, because this is so different than what you would get at a big box store. It's the right form of the nutrients in the right dose. You're not going to be peeing it out. You can be really confident with the purity and potency in it. You can either get a life strip that is um, nutrients that our landmark study was based upon. Ask your ambassador to see the landmark study that shows that our multivitamins actually change the key biomarkers of health much better than either folks who aren't using them or who are using the leading brands, as well as a personalized nutrition and daily pack called Meology that's tailored to your needs. You just take this quiz and you can get something just for you. So make sure that you talk to your ambassador about multis. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I asked Dr. Cari this, Audrey, and I want to ask
Okay.
you, what's one thing you wish every woman understood about her body for the second half of her life?
So I have an acronym that I've come up with, and I've shared this before, and I tell my ladies that every day they need to go to the spa. Okay, so what does this stand for? We need
Ooh,
sleep. We need our sleep. Okay. Sleep is the foundation for everything. If we do not get our sleep, we don't eat properly, we are not able to move properly, we don't function, the brain, everything, as you heard Dr. Kari speak. I'm sure many of us know all the things. Sleep is number one.
okay.
Then we have protein, P for protein. Okay. Please get your protein in. I can't even begin to tell you every day when I meet with my clients and we go through their journals and tracking, and the days that they don't get the protein, they're just off. They're hungrier, they're craving, they don't sleep as well, their mood swings, all the things. So, and if you need help of any kind, honestly, message me. I'm happy to help you to, whatever, or whoever brought you here, look for some assistance in figuring out what protein you need and how to combine. And if you're more plant-based proteins or vegan or vegetarian, let's figure out how to really up that. I can't stress it enough how important. And then the A for activity. Okay.
Mhm.
It's got to be, and I know I say A for activity, but it really needs to be the weight training, weight bearing exercise, a minimum of 2 to 3 days a week. Um, Moving, get in your steps, be active, be busy. And I say activity, and it's not just physical, but it's activity for your brain, activity with friends, activity with relationships, because it's those beautiful relationships that are really going to feed your soul and truly light you up from within. So you're going to take yourself to the spa every day with sleep,
Oh, I love
sufficient
this.
protein, and all kinds of activity to keep you vital and vibrant and as happy as you possibly can be.
Every
Because
day is a spa day
every
now,
day is a
everyone.
spa day.
I love it.
Okay. So
Oh,
just,
I
I
love
know
it.
that's such an easy one for all of us to remember. And they really are three unbelievable words that I want for you to keep in the back of your head every day and ask yourself the questions. Did I get my sleep? And if not, how can I? What can I do? Did I get my protein? If not, what can I do to support? And did I get my activities? And what is that looking like? Okay.
Oh, so
So,
good. All right. Thank you, Audrey. Thank you.
you're so
Mwah. I hope all of you
welcome.
watching have gotten so much out of these two dynamos, connecting all the dots between what's happening in our bodies and the nutrients that help us thrive through it. All right, so if you're watching this and thinking, oh, yeah, that's me. Okay, here's the great news you learned tonight. You're not alone. You don't have to guess or struggle or try 47 things that aren't gonna work. You can trust one company that's backed by a 70-year track record of clinical studies, real science, not TikTok buzzwords, okay? So if you're ready to add simple, proven habits that help your body work for you again, make sure you're reaching out to the ambassador who invited you. They can help you get started with the solutions that are right for you. And remember, you don't have to do everything at once, okay? We're talking about this marathon of upgraded living now that you get to be on. And over time, keep adding what's going to continue to make your body thrive. All right. And that ambassador that you get to have at your beck and call, they're going to know exactly what specials are available right now to save you the most money and give you the most perks. Okay. We've helped so many women regain their energy and their sleep and boost their metabolism and raise their confidence and improve their moods, you name it. And you can do it too. Okay. So here is to all of us powering through the pause, truly stepping into our power and making the second half the best half. Does that sound good to you? Let me hear you. Does that sound good to you? Well, we're here to help you. We're in this together, and let's make ourselves even better and better, because that way we get to go out and make the world a better place, because the world needs us. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you, and share this with a friend who could use this information too. Bye.